Hello again, diecast fans, and welcome back to Jim's Magnificent Miniature Motor Cars. This will be the first of 3 episodes that I'll be dubbing Off the Beaten Path, because yesterday, in a store that I rarely ever visit, I found 3 very hard to find items, including one I'd been looking for several months. And so to kick off this mini-series within a series, I'm going to unbox this baby. A Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport from Tomica. I think it's kind of appropriate considering the last item we unboxed was a Bugatti as well. Well, you should know that this has been a very popular item and one that's been very hard to find. So it was very gratifying to finally get my hands on one. So let's push through with the unboxing, shall we? There she blows. Really nice shade of blue here for this item. And well, this is a regular Tomica, not like the Bugatti Veyron I unboxed previously. But that said, well, even for a regular Tomica, with all of its limitations, as it were, this is a pretty sweet model, I gotta say. I mean, it holds up well against some of the nicer models I've unboxed. I've only ever unboxed 2 other regular Tomicas so far in this program. The others have all been Tomica premiums. But this has got to be the best one so far, and I should hope it would be, because it's a Bugatti, so it deserves some extra attention. Yep, that level of detail is pretty respectable for a $5 car. And of course, as with all Tomicas, you got working suspension. But of particular note for me is this bodywork here. You got the aero, you got the rear wing, you got of course the engine section, and then you got the front grille. Oh, and you have a nicely reproduced under chassis here. Okay. So how do I rate this then? It's a shame I don't have the Hot Wheels Bugatti. Of course, they didn't produce the Chiron Pur Sport, but they produced the Chiron, so it's not quite apples to apples. In any case, how do I rate this Bugatti? Well, I definitely wouldn't judge it by the same standard that I do, for example, Mini GT or the Time Micro that I unboxed last year. Okay. So, having looked over all the details, I gotta say that even though this car makes a good first impression, well, I do have a slight problem with the choice of wheels, because this is a car that's supposed to have really big wheels. But for some reason, Tomica went with the smaller version of the sport wheels for the front, which, just in my humble opinion, I think was a mistake. Anyway, but even with that in mind, for a regular Tomica, this is definitely one of their stronger efforts. So I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Okay, and that brings us to a close for part 1 of Off the Beaten Path. I hope you liked this little mini episode, and I'll bring you a couple of new ones very shortly. Stay tuned.